Welcome to this week's edition of Sun News Blazer Beat. I'm Zoe Hansen.
And I'm Troy Grimmond. Thanks for tuning in. The women's soccer team is currently undefeated in WAC play with a 3-win, 0-loss, 4-tie record. The Trailblazers have been successful in the last 2 games, winning by 2 goals. The Blazers will take on in-state rival Utah Valley University away at the UCCU Stadium tonight at 6.
Gracie Knutson, recently named Overachieving Athlete of the Week, shows leadership on and off the field.
Be your biggest strengths on the team?
I would say off the field, well, off and on the field, my leadership qualities. I think I'm able to help be personable with the girls and be able to kind of be a leader with them and be able to hold them to high standards, and not only them but to myself as well. And so
Truly, she spoke to it a little bit, but her leadership qualities are exceptional. From the moment we took this job and the first conversation I had with Gracie, I knew she was going to be a great leader. And then to step into preseason and just to see how natural of a leader she was, a leader through example, but also vocally on the field, off the field. It was no surprise, no question that she was named captain. And she's really carried us through so many games, especially hard times in games. I know I can rely on Gracie to just kind of keep a level head and to do her job and to do her work. I just am proud of the leader that she is and how she represents our team on and off the field.
I think especially from this past summer, I really just put my head down and I worked and I was I'm gonna put everything into this season. So being awarded that was awesome, and especially with school, the academic aspect, it means a lot because school doesn't come easy to me, so I have to put a lot of work into it, so it's just really rewarding.
If anybody watches her on the field, it's clear the impact that she has on the field, but what she does in the classroom, what she does with SAC and in the community, it's so important to the way she represents our team and the reputation of our team, and the future of our team. She's everything that you want in a student athlete.
I just kind of want to go out with a bang, not only with me, but with the team as well. I'm just so excited, and I've been so excited for the season, and especially wrapping up the last few games of the season and going into the tournament. I'm just hoping we just do good and just put everything out on the field.
Over on the men's side of soccer, the Blazers are 7-6 while being 3-2 in WAC games. Last week, the Blazers went 1-1 with a 0-1 loss to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and a 3-2 win against Air Force. The Blazers are currently ranked 5th in the WAC and head to Phoenix to take on the Grand Canyon University Antelopes today at 8 p.m.
Shot blocker Stockton Short has been recognized twice this season as Goalkeeper of the Week. As a senior, he shows his strengths how his strengths play into his success as a goalkeeper. Here's more about Short and some of his highlights.
Recently being named WAC Goalkeeper of the Week, what does this achievement mean for you?
It obviously means a lot. My team has played a huge role in both of those awards that I've received. Without those guys, those awards wouldn't be there. So, first off, huge credit to my defense especially, and just to our team as a whole, because I kind of see that as a team award instead of an individual award, but it just has my name on it. But it's definitely a team achievement, but it feels good to get some recognition.
And how do you stay calm and composed in stressful game situations?
Just experience. I've played in so many games, and there's so many moments that happen over and over again, so you just learn to cope.
And what would you consider to be one of your biggest strengths as a goalkeeper?
I think my athleticism is probably my biggest strength. I think I'm good in the air. I think I dive and I'm a good shot stopper.
As Stockton said, he has a really good reach. He's really tall, but also I think one of his biggest aspects is he's very calm in the back. A lot of the goalkeepers that they've been playing against have been very loud out of the back, but he's super calm, composed, even when they get scored on. I think that's a big aspect. What do you think?
Well, Zoe, it always goes back to his experience. Like he said, he's got a lot of experience in the goalkeeping position, and a lot of people say and a lot of people talk, and you really can't teach experience. It's something that you learn and you adapt and you grow by playing the game. You fail a lot with experience and you grow a lot with experience.
I agree. I'm excited to see what he can do in the WAC this season.
Phenomenal news for the Utah Tech golf program, as the Black Desert Resort will serve as the Blazers' home turf. Following this move, the course is going to see a lot of action in 2024, with the LPGA and PGA Tours partnering with the course to bring major golf tournaments to St. George. Utah Tech Athletic Director Ken Beezer has high hopes for this arrangement, as he told St. George News that he expects positive changes in the golf program in just over 6 months.
The Utah Tech volleyball team swept Seattle University in a 3-1 shutout. 5 Trailblazers recorded 6 or more kills, and junior Emma Ricks was the team leader in digs with a total of 13. The Blazers now stand at 3 wins, 5 losses in the WAC, and will compete tonight against Stephen F. Austin at 6 p.m. in the Burns Arena. Last show we highlighted the wrestling club. This week we're highlighting the women's volleyball club. Sun News Blazer Beat producer Madison Dwiggins talked to the founders of the club to see why they decided to start the club only last spring.
The Women's Volleyball Club is one of the newer clubs on campus. I talked to founder of the club, Hannah Gates, to see how having the club on campus impacts her.
We're really close friends with the men's president and the presidency over there, and they go to a lot of tournaments, and they said a lot of women club teams go there, and they were wondering why we don't have one, so I started it. So every semester we hold tryouts, and then we have 2 coaches, and they pretty much, like this time we had 48 people and we narrowed it down to 18, and then those are our travel teams. I think coming from a high school athlete, like some people are really sad that they just work their way up and then always have to be done, so it's fun to keep playing and doing what we love. So I think there's 8 teams in Utah that have club teams, and we're pretty close with them. So we have a couple coming here, and then we travel to tournaments and other games.
I found out about the club volleyball team through the men's club. My boyfriend and a good friend kind of like started the men's club, so me and Hannah decided that we should start a women's club, so that's how it all started. Having a volleyball club on campus impacts me by having like a solid group of friends to like hang out with every week, and it really is like a big stress reliever to be able to come here and just have fun and play the sport that I love.
So there's actually like a conference that they'll have like sanctioned tournaments that we go to. But for the most part, like in the fall semester, it's Hannah, our president. She sets up all our games. A lot of our games will be either Northern Utah, Colorado, there's some in California, a lot in Vegas, and then nationals changes every year. It's been in Kansas City, it's been in Colorado, it's kind of shifts every year. We get it from fundraising and then dues. The players that make the team, they pay dues. And so we build, but mainly from fundraising and donations. That's how we get our money. I think it's great because it gives it like another outlet to players, especially to like girls who have played volleyball before, who like don't necessarily want to play on the school team or like didn't make it on the school team. There's like another outlet for them to come play. And I think it's awesome to be able to be a part of a team. Like, I think it gives some people like a place to be more than anything.
For Blazer Beat, I'm Madison Dwiggins.
So Zoe, obviously we have a competitive women's volleyball team here at Utah Tech, but I love how they started their club team because they just want to keep playing the sport that they love, and I find that very admirable and enjoyable. And I bet it takes up a lot of stress from school.
Yeah, I think it's super cool how our university allows for a lot of clubs. We have a lot of clubs on campus, and for them to go from high school to like not technically competing at the D1 level, but also competing technically at a D1 school, you know, I think it's fun having that transition and not just stopping after high school. You put in so much work, and a lot of players that play in high school, you know, they started when they were young, and then high schools are cut off. Well, now they can play at a club team and still have fun at a D1 school.
And another thing is that they get to travel all across the interstates. Like you heard, they go to Colorado. They're very close to the other 11 Utah club teams here, and I think it's a really cool place to be.
I agree. We'll be back after the break with a recap of how the football team is doing so far and how the men's and women's basketball team is looking during preseason.
It's official. Dixie State University is now Utah Tech University. Our polytechnic focus combines active learning with career readiness in all of our 250 programs. As one of the fastest growing, most affordable, and safest universities in the country, Utah Tech was recently ranked as a top 10 arts and science college. So, join us and experience the difference at Utah Tech University.
All right, one of the big topics of this week is football. We are 4th in the WAC, and 1-0 offense, averaging 250 passing yards. How do you feel like we're doing going into WAC? Because I feel like we've never had such a good start in the WAC play.
So, well, obviously, we had a rough start to the season in general. You know, we dropped our first 2 games, Montana State and Montana. Montana being at home, and that wasn't really much of a close game. But if you remember back in the season when I interviewed Paul Peterson, he talked about his spread and shred offense. And it seems like they're really putting it together with Ricky Johnson and Bo Sparks having insane reception yards, 428 and 417. Bo Sparks has more completions, too, from Kobe Tracy than Ricky Johnson. Ricky Johnson does have 11 more receptions, though. And on the defensive side of the ball, Cyrus Webster leads the team with 3 sacks, and no one else on the team has 2. He also leads the team in 11 tackles. So it takes a lot to kind of put it all together, but 1-0 in the WAC is a great start, and we have a tough team, North Alabama, ahead of us that we're looking forward to.
You know, and one of our biggest strengths going into this is, going into Alabama, is our 2 wide receivers, Bo Sparks and Ricky Johnson. We've seen in many different football games how if we have even just one athlete that's really good on offense, it can take you. We have 2 really great wide receivers, and I think that's going to be our power move.
Bo Sparks is a freshman, too. Forgot to mention that. The kid is absolutely electric to watch, and he's been nominated for the Jerry Rice Award. And a notable player to keep your eyes out if you watch the NFL is Cooper Kupp, who also received that award, and he also has a Triple Crown, which is the highest prestigious award you can get as a wide receiver.
Now, how about basketball? Let's talk about men's basketball.
Well, as you know, we didn't have that much of a great season last year. Cameron Gooden stepped away. He went to go play overseas, British basketball, I believe. He led the team in points and assists, as well as playing the most minutes for the team. They went 14-19 and 5-13 in the WAC play, and they lost all their games by more than 10 points early in the season. What do you think of that?
They did, but I don't think it's something that we should be scared about. But also losing a good player like Cameron Gooden to the British Basketball League. I think it's cool how he went from playing a D1 to not stopping after that. Like we just talked about in high school, you stop at high school if you don't play D1 or D2 or go into college at all. But he went from playing D1 to playing in the British Basketball League, which is really cool. We also lost a lot of great players. One notable name is Frank Stain. He went to Stephen F. Austin. We will see him in January. He's known as Frank 2-time Stain, and he wore the number 22 jersey. That's what he was known for. Well, now we'll see him wearing the number 44, which he doubled. So I'm kind of excited to see that. Like, even though we lost like great players, we have 3 new ones.
Another cool thing too, Zoe, is that, I mean, you look at the roster for the men's basketball, there's no seniors on there. So, I mean, it's a young team, but these juniors have big shoes to fill. And they have 3 new incoming freshmen, 3 guards, and I wonder if it's going to change their game up. Kind of looking for that Cameron Gooden replacement.
Yeah, I mean, Noah Gonzalez had a great season last year. He appeared in all 32 games and played the team high of 994 minutes. Crazy. And then also Tanner Christensen, a good name to remember too. He started in 32 games, all of his appearances, and averaged 9.5 points and 7 rebounds per game. So those are great stats. If they could keep that up, they're looking at a good season.
Heavy on returning players this season could be a different culture/winning season. Exhibition match versus Stanton University at home. They're playing Stanton University. They could be looking for a new culture coming in. What do you think about that?
I think it's always good to keep your eyes open. We should be looking for something new, and we want to keep the other teams on their toes.
I absolutely agree. Jacksonville State is the next opponent at home with a 12-18 last year. I predict a win against Jacksonville State, to be honest. I mean, we're in a much more competitive conference than them. We're in the UAC, the WAC. We got great teams like SFA, Southern Utah, which we always play to a close game, and we ended up beating last year. So I'm going to predict a win, and we also had a better record. They had a 12-18. We had they had a 12-19. We had a 14-18. So.
I think I'm going to go along with you. I think I'm expecting a win. But I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be a pretty close game. The other team's going to come out with a strong offense. I think it's going to be really close.
Another kind of pressing matter, though, for basketball is our first home game isn't until December 2nd, where we play Utah Valley University. So I don't know how that's going to affect our boys, but I hope they can bring it home.
I'm loving it. Playing an in-state rival for the first game, it's going to bring a bunch of fans. I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
What about women's basketball? What about on the other side, Zoe?
Women's basketball, we have a lot to talk about with women's basketball. We have 3 seniors coming back. We got Brianna Gillen, Maggie McCord, and Emily Isaacson.
Wasn't Brianna Gillen the preseason WAC player this year?
Yes, yeah. She is the WAC preseason player of the year, which is a huge award. I don't think we've had one of those for a while. But she just did a WAC preseason conference with Emily Isaacson and head coach JD Gustin. And they talked about how Brianna is really good at giving opportunities to other players. She has a lot of trust, and I think that's one of their strengths, is giving the ball away, sharing the ball. You got to have a lot of trust with that, and she does really well.
You know, and they also have a lot of returning fifth-year seniors, too. Can you tell me a little bit more about those?
Yeah, so Brianna Gillen is one, and then Maggie McCord is the other. She started in all 31 games, Maggie did, and averaged 10.9 points per game and 7.3 rebounds. So they have 2 really good fifth-year seniors coming back, but another senior to take note of is redshirt senior Emily Isaacson. She's a back-to-back WAC leader in 3 points. Anywhere along the 3-point line, if you give Emily the ball, she's landing it.
Perimeter threat, I love it.
So she's going to be really fun to watch. But not only is Emily really, really good at shooting on the outside, but every single one of their offensive players is great at shooting.
How about the twins coming back, though? Maddie and Macy Warren.
Oh, yes.
The knees, you know, it's rough taking 2 twins out with almost the same knee injury. I mean, What do you think? Obviously you heard JD Gustin say that they're huge leaders and they're huge contributors to the team. So what do you think they're going to do for this season?
They are. I'm excited to see what Maddie can do. In the 2021-2022 season, she had her season-ending injury. And then Macy the next year in the 2022-23 season, same knee injury, season-ending injury. So the fact that they're both back and healthy is going to be huge, because they were awesome players when their freshman year, and then we didn't see much of them these past 2 years because of their knee injuries. They're going to have a great comeback.
Throughout these, injuries, I believe women's basketball is going to have a great season ahead of them.
I agree.
And that's it for this week's edition of Sun News Blazer Beat. Thanks for tuning in.
We will see you here next week, same time, same place. Have a great week, Trailblazers.